Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to join with Pierce. He's come all the way from Tampa, Florida to be with us with his movie, Hollow. Let's take a look at the clip. Pierce, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the New Filmmakers LA family.
Thank you, glad to be here.
Really thankful for your film that you brought to us. I can't believe that you are still in school and you made this. It like you've made about 30 films, but well done.
Thank you.
Hollow is a fantastic film. I've got so many questions, but for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis.
Yes, of course. So Hollow is about this young man who visits the home of his abusive late father that he left to him, and he's intent on selling it. And as he's selling all the items in the house, he comes across this letter that his father left to him before his passing. And although this letter could give the young man the closure that he needs to move on, it also will open the door to all of this past trauma that he's been bottling in.
Pierce, you did such a brilliant job. Like I had my heart in my mouth watching the whole thing because obviously it's a very disturbing story of what this young person went through and then reliving it through his adult lens. But then you kind of magically immersed animation in this as well, which I've never seen before. It was so magical to experience it, watch it, and such a clever idea. Tell us a little bit about where it was for you, where this idea came about, and how you decided to turn it into a film. And then on top of that, how you wanted to relay the story, mixed with animation as well.
Yes, of course. The birth of this film is a pretty simple one. It really just kind of started on the idea of how to portray nostalgia within film. Nostalgia has always been like a super interesting concept for me, especially as I'm like, going through these different stages of my life. I'm like, kind of like looking back. And so I wanted to try and capture that in film. And I landed on the idea of a painting, especially oil paintings, because of how antiquated the art form is. And so I felt that could portray that on screen and give that feeling. And as I was like kind of playing with this idea and like, kind of seeing how beautiful the medium was, I really wanted to juxtapose it with a tragic story to really kind of bring out the complexity of that tale. And, I love making stories about father-son relationships. I think that, it's something that I can relate to very deeply, of course. And it's something I can draw from in my personal experience. And so I just felt that this was a story that I could tell, well and in a way that it would like be able to connect with the audience because I could tell it from my own personal point of view.
Personal point of view. Well, I just want to say, I want to commend you because for someone that also has an abusive father, watching your film was therapeutic. Like, and the lens that you told the story through him was exactly almost how it felt, like growing up. And I just really well done, because I think a lot of people that have either been through that or know someone's been through that would really just get so much from your film, not just from entertainment, but from, an educational, empathetic standpoint. So well done on that, honestly. Now, great actors in there, obviously. Little one, big one. How did you work with the actors as a director? Because obviously the stakes are high in this case. How did you work with your actors?
Oh yeah, it was a lot of rehearsals, and not like a ton of like number of them, but just like the quality of the rehearsals, really bringing them in together and just having them like kind of really work with each other, build that depth. I had a lot of conversations with my lead actor, Marcus, and he just like. He just bounced so many questions off of me of just like, his past and kind of like just really getting into the details of like, what he's feeling, why he's feeling it. When he steps into the space, like, what the space means to him, especially when he's like selling it. And because it's a very complex thing to try and move past past trauma. And so, really just kind of having those in-depth conversations with the actors and with the child really just
He was great.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was awesome, and he was so awesome to work with. He was just like, he absorbed so much stuff, but like, keeping things like, age appropriate, but also while, being honest with him and like, kind of navigating that with him. I really kind of relied on my lead actor as well, like, kind of like, helping. We had like, I had him mirror him a lot, and like, really just, they had those conversations as well, like, so it was largely conversation, because it is a very intellectual thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're awesome. They got it.
They nailed it for sure. What have you learned mostly from making this project?
Mostly that things can not go to plan very, very quickly.
Welcome to filmmaking, right?
Welcome to film, yeah. But also, if you surround yourself with great people, with awesome collaborators, and people that are willing to make those changes and help you, you can make something even better than what you came in like expecting to make.
Well, we were just talking off the set. You obviously we're going to take psychology, and that was what you were doing prior.
Yep.
Well, I feel like you're mixing that within your filmmaking abilities now. Having obviously now you're in your senior year at Florida State, which is very exciting. What kind of films? What are you hoping to make in the future? What kind of films are you enjoying?
Yeah, I really do enjoy this vein of filmmaking. Although I do think that I would love to mix this like kind of very deep like character work within like other genres, maybe horror, thriller, possibly action. I'm not sure, but I really do love the process of like breaking down like the human psyche and then like kind of building it up and like portraying it in a really subtle way, so that everyone watching it, or those specific people watching who can relate, can really like emotionally connect with the person, or even like see themselves on the screen and be like, that could be me. And like, just, that experience really is like that. When people came up to me afterwards and were like, I really, really related to this character, and this like, this film like touched me like deeply. That was like, I was like, this is what it's about for me. So I would really love to make more films like this.
And what's it been like? Because it's kind of scary, because you're making this film, you've made this film, you've watched it on your laptop, you've seen the edit, everything else, and then now this is your first film festival, right?
Yep.
You've flown over on a plane, gone to your first film festival. How was that experience seen on the big screen? What was that like?
Well, it was definitely, my heart was beating as it was going up there. I don't know. It's showing so many people something that you've been like working on for so long, and like something that is like so like important to you, is like it's a very scary thing in a way, but also it's so it really is a very fulfilling sort of thing, and so it's like just so enjoyable to see how people connect with and react to this sort of my film. And no, it's been wonderful here. Everyone's been so warm and welcoming, and so like I've had so many great conversations, met so many great people. So I was nervous at first, but I mean I'm so comfortable now. It's so much fun.
I love it. So many more in the future. Can't you see us? We've got a film full of budding students here as well, and I'm just curious, from people that want to go to film school, or anyone that wants to start a career in filmmaking, do you have any advice you'd give to anyone now that in the films that you've made? Any advice you give anyone who wants to kind of follow in your footsteps?
Yeah, really just go for it, because I didn't know that this was kind of the direction I wanted to go until my junior year of high school, and by that point I was almost locked into doing something that was in the STEM field. And so, but as soon as I took that one class, it was media studies, after my professor bugged me about it, I was like, this is what I want to do. I can do this. And thankfully, like my parents were very supportive of that, but at the same time I had to like really push myself to like, I've been going in this one direction all this time, and I had to just like flip it, just on the dime. But once I knew, and I just went for it, and now here we are. So
here you are. Well, we're very excited for you, and well done on Hollow. Really looking forward to the work that you've done. But best wishes in your graduation
Thank you
year.
so much.
Hopefully, we'll be seeing more of you. But welcome to the NewFilmmakers LA family. Thank you for bringing your film to us.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.